try.
But, you know, we'll work around you. It's not so.
Did you practice?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not in
Good for
Texas.
Texas though.
That's a little extra. And, you know, is for the summer, you know, we're going to take advantage of Sean being right up the street. I mean, you know, does not happen every year.
They are selling the house,
I
but
know.
he can drive.
Well, I'm just saying, I'm not going to, you know,
Right.
if he's down the street and she's not in school, we're gonna see him a little extra if I can afford it.
He's really good.
You don't have change, do you?
I
Otherwise, I'll just keep track and get your music out, please, honey. He's
like
fantastic.
everybody, not without problems, but he's incredibly intelligent, and he's changed. He was always a talented violinist, but at some point a few years ago, here you go.
Thank you.
At some point a few years ago, he decided that he wants to learn violin from inside, and he started to actually take notes in regards of how to spot the problems, how to fix the problems, how to deal with this. And he had been teaching quite a few of my students as a tutor, sort of to say.
Is this phone dead, Ella?
I think so. I don't need to charge it.
All right. No,
If you
I
have
just.
a charger, we can plug it in.
It's okay. I just want to take my own notes, but I'll use something.
You can use
here.
the back of that. It's the back of that.
Okay, I will.
Okay.
Can you tune your violin? Let's see that. Okay, so did we create a doc for you? We did, yes. I remember you were writing some stuff.
Oh yeah, and I wasn't sure if you wanted her every week to write something down about what she remembered, or only the first week.
No, that's a good question. Most of the time, I very laconically say in that doc what happened at the lesson and what I want her to do. And sometimes, there are two reasons for that. Sometimes I get too involved and I don't have time to type. Then I ask them to remember what happened and to type whatever they remember. I don't want essay. I just want a few sentences, most critical information. And I want her to sit down, look at her music, think, and try to remember.
Every
This
week is a good idea.
Not necessarily. Well, it's not a bad idea to remember, but I don't make this assignment every week. It's just sort of on a whim. But what I noticed that once in a while, when they actually make this intelligent effort, it kind of compresses and solidifies the knowledge that they acquired over the period of time. I know my students well. I have a degree in psychology, but it takes for me to learn who they are. So it will probably take me a few months to really know who she is. At this point, I've had few surprises, they're all pleasant. But we'll see. Okay?
Okay.
The cuteness overload, that's for sure. Okay, and the last lesson is always on the top. So this is her file,
Okay.
and the red is what I want to be fixed in general, ongoing. Sometimes it's a couple of weeks, sometimes it's a couple of months, sometimes it's a year, and I will never shut up. And right after that is the last lesson. I don't put the last lesson at the bottom, I put it always at the top and go down. So as soon as they open the doc, they see the red, they see the last information. And over the years that was working. Now let me see. If there is a double error in the file, that means that you must practice it, and that means that I will definitely ask for it next lesson. However, if there is information in the doc and I didn't ask you at the lesson, that doesn't mean that I do not want you to continue practicing. Okay. Are you afraid of me?
No.
Oh, come on. I'm trying so hard to be scary. Ugh. All right. So first of all, tell me, what did you do when you practiced?
I did my scale, and then it was a metronome, and then I did my shifting exercises,
Very good.
and then I worked on the piece.
And then you did the piece. Do you have the other pieces of music or just the piece?
I have the Bartley exercise, and
Oh, you have the, okay, good. I didn't notice. And you have a scale music, right?
yeah,
That was reluctant ear. Where is the scale?
it's in there.
Oh, you should pull it out.
Okay.
In your case, scale is going to be a must every time. I recently acquired a student who is spectacular talent from San Francisco, and they're driving all the way from San Francisco, poor
That's
people. But I asked him to play a scale, and he says, well, I don't really practice scales. I was in shock. I mean, seriously. Okay. I'll let you start. First, I want you to show me your setup. I'm not going to count or anything. That's for babies, and you're not a baby anymore, right? Right. It is not bad, but it's not perfect. Can you take a moment and fix things? There is nothing unimportant. Tiger. Walk away. Come here. What's wrong? No. But the idea was right. The violin needs to be like this. If your bow wants to be here, you don't want to change the bow because it will change your bow arm. You always adjust the violin for the bow, not the bow for the violin.
That's good for me to know. Go ahead. Don't look at me. He's over there.
Yeah. Right. Always remember, you know what? Yeah, it kind of works. We'll put it down. All right, that is much better. Relax this, guys. I don't want you to force this finger out. No. Watch for this. She's spreading these fingers too wide, and it definitely creates a tension here. They're not supposed to be squished together. They're supposed to be spread naturally. And if you think that this is my natural hand, my fingers are naturally wide. They curved, but they're wide, big grip. In her case, I see a little bit of this,
Okay.
which creates a tension here, and I definitely don't know. It's common mistake. It gives them a full sense of power because they can press easier. But it locks their hands and eventually causes pain. Again. Ideally, I would want this guy just a little closer here. That is a perfection right there. Turn around and show. Oh, there. Show to the mom. See how what looks good is usually good, right? And if this finger goes up too far, it starts to look forced, and it usually is. Okay?
Thank you.
All right, that's very good. Now, okay, what do I want from you? Well, I want you to play a little détaché at the middle of the bow, on one of the middle strings. Do not put your violin down. Let me see that. Sniffleupagus. Okay. Make sure that when you put your shoulder rest, this side goes in the middle, and this goes slightly on the side. And grow faster, so we can get you a bigger violin sooner and a bigger shoulder rest. Okay? This is a little scratchy here. Why don't they do the good stuff for the little ones? I don't understand. Okay, let's see. See how that goes a little bit on the side? It will help to keep the violin up. All right. Put it back where you were. Try. I know you're trying. I know the shoulder rest is ridiculous, and I know you're trying, but still don't forget. So far, so a few times that you try to lift it and bring it to the neck, and I really appreciate that. I really do. Try again. Put yourself in. I have more shoulder rests here. Never mind. Let's go. Middle part, drop the fingers down, align the first finger so it's not too spread. The thumb has to face the second finger, remember? Bunny nose. There you go. And now play simple détaché back and forth on open string. Okay, not bad. At this point, you may need to exaggerate it a little bit, but I want this on every change to the down bow. I want your thumb to breathe on every change on the down bow. Go. Good girl. Perfect. Good. Excellent. Now let me show you something and you will tell me what is wrong with this.
It's a donkey.
Hmm? I was not even aiming that high. Yes, it is a donkey stroke. She's super smart.
What did she say? A donkey stroke? Or did Sean teach her that or
No.
something?
Oh, maybe Sean knows that.
Oh.
You know, it's like She's
Did Sean
absolutely
teach
right.
you that?
Well, whoever she heard it from, she has a flexible
I
and
heard it from
quick
you.
mind.
I think I heard it from you.
Oh, good. I'm happy that you remembered. Don't do the donkey stroke. Keep it heavy. Again. I do not. What happened to your shoulder rest?
It's
Where did
gone.
it go? Magic shoulder rest. Oh, there it is. Let me put it back. I brought a couple of them from school, but I cannot see them.
We have another one, but
I don't want it to be high for her because
I
high
have one
shoulder.
in my case.
No, this is fine. This is
well,
fine.
show
The
it to
lower-
him
the
though.
lower-
Give it to him. Do you want to see it? Because I don't think you've
No, I
seen this
don't
one.
want that one because it's too high.
Oh.
You see, the point
Okay.
the point is that she can't put it against the neck because it's too high here. So she's finding the lower ground here.
Mhm.
Go. Okay, very good. Now, what does thumb never do? Come on, child. You're so smart. Tell me, what does the thumb should never, ever, ever do? It never bends backwards. And you will see many people do that because it's false comfort. Do not copy that. Okay? You try to flick and you try to be good. You overdone.
I see that so much on cello too. It drives me bananas. It's
Exactly.
a banana.
Exactly.
A banana. It drives me crazy.
Let's go.
Sorry.
One more time without bending the thumb backwards. Either bend or slightly straighten, but never bend backwards. Go. Violin out, 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 so the bow goes straight. Yeah, that's exactly what I want. You know? I have a student, I don't know if you met Wendy.
Mm-mm.
She's a Chinese girl from Toronto. With me for 3 years. Magical improvement. Incredible brain. She never repeats mistake. It's just freaky and not human. I think I've got the Caucasian version of it. Well done. Can you do the same thing for me at the frog? Do I dare to ask you? It is hard. Try. Shoulder goes up. Why is the shoulder up? Relax the shoulder. Bring the wrist to your face. I need you. Okay. Give me the violin. Give me the violin. Keep the bow. If your bow is here, right? If that's where you want to play, then the violin's supposed to be that way. Whatever it takes, do not move the violin forward. Understood? Go. More bow and go to the front. Flick the thumb, 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 thumb. Try not to move your fingers too much, but the thumb has to breathe. Good girl. Okay. Okay. We will start with Shevchik today, which I was not going to do until fall with you. If you are seeing Sean, he's an expert in Shevchik and he will definitely not allow you to do wrong. He actually comes to the Cheyans festival specifically to teach lectures on Shevchik. And many people of the future festival are thinking, is Sean coming back? He's trying to figure that out, but he learned basically everything that I know about that Shevchik. Do you know who started my love for Shevchik? Millie.
Oh.
She stole it from violinists and used on the cello. Anyway, scale. Make sure that your bow is straight. Right. And every time you go down, thumb, breathes, go. Drop that shoulder, go. Yes, very good. Excellent. Don't forget about the bowing when you're fighting the difficult left hand. Okay, good, good. You played a different bow fingering. You played absolutely right notes and they were perfectly in tune, but you did not use the right fingering. It's important that you use the right fingering, although I like that you used your ears and you survived under the stressful circumstances. Every time there is even the slightest problem in the left, usually the right goes. We don't want that to happen. Do you understand what I'm talking about? Yes or no? Yeah? Okay. Typically when kids go shifting in a high position, they grab, shrink in the bow, and just try to survive. That's actually a critical point where they have to control their bowing regardless of what happens on the left, and then they learn fast.
Mm-hmm.
Good improvement. I remember last time I saw you could not even play higher than third position. Now you climbed all the way to the 10th. And that is good. Alright, but you need to use the right fingering. You need to make sure that your bow is always straight. What did I do with your elbow? It's awfully hot here today. What did I do with your elbow, child? Yes? What did I do? No. I held it right here when you go down, so your bow goes straight, so you don't play in circles like this. This is terrible, right? And as soon as I did this, you took it over on your own and you did absolutely right, but I need you to control yourself. Okay? Try one more time. Don't need the whole scale, don't want to waste time, but that's the priority. Do not, see how she's like hugging herself. Open up. Drop the shoulder. That's right, go. Okay, I'll take that. I'll take that. If I don't have time to type all of that, you need to remember.
Do you know the fingering, Ella, that he wants?
It's in the scale, in the paper.
Oh, it is, okay.
Now, you have to make sure that your violin is always in a position for the bow to be correct. Sometimes it's the bow in the beginning that is crooked because you're not bringing it here, right? When you're in the middle, it's always the violin's fault. When you're at the frog, sometimes it's your wrist's fault. So you have to make sure that whatever the case is, you start with a straight bow. As Eleanor would say, you never play from behind your ear. There, not here.
Brichevi.
That's the first thing. The thumb always bends when you go down. Especially when you come up and then you switch. Watch the thumb. See? Up, down. It has to breathe. If it's locked, it's not okay, even if it looks great. This guy should not stick too far out. It never squished, but not too far out. The sound should not be a donkey stroke, right? It's supposed to be strong all the time. And not because of squishing, yes?
So one thing I notice with kids or Ella sometimes is if you adjust the violin, it's like, what do you do with your eyes if you want to see your string? Sometimes the kids feel like that they can't see it. So what's your advice about that?
I have a giant mirror for that reason.
You don't need to be able to see it.
No.
Okay, I'm just saying that
Position-
sometimes it's frustrating.
Positioning
child.
of the eyes during the performance and practice is important because I have one student who I honestly believe has to find the dot on the wall and stare at it in order to focus, but he has not usual brain, let's put it this way. Normal child should not stare, right? We know that staring at the audience during performance doesn't help you to perform because it breaks the contact between your music and the audience. So you come, you take a bow looking at the audience, and then that's done. So you look at the music. If you play by memory, you look at your fingers, you look somewhere, or you close your eyes, or you look around, you move. You don't forget to blink and stare at one point. That locks you, okay? But if you can't see some things that you do, that's the place where your eyes are. You cannot remove your eyes and move around. But my son was working for a long time with Apple TV. What it is, he would position his iPhone somewhere, like he had similar problem with his thumb. So and he would put iPhone on the floor and broadcast on the TV through the Apple TV. It's a quick and easy connect. And when he would practice, he would look straight at the big screen and he would see the view from underneath his bow hole.
Okay.
Many things like that are helpful, okay?
All right.
You look like you have a question. Do you have a question? Good. In that case, what else did you do with the scale?
I went up to 4 slide.
Show me. How about 3? Can you play 3 against 2? Did you do it with metronome?
Yeah.
Yeah. So funny. You are so funny. Okay. At 60, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You look like you're scared now. Did I succeed terrifying you finally?
No.
Ugh. Let's go. I want 3. Okay. You're totally not with the metronome in any possible way. Have you done 3 with the metronome against 2 or not?
Yeah, but
One more chance and then I will have to explain it to you. Go. Don't waste time. Let's go. Okay. The second note has to come before the click. The third note is supposed to be right after. Listen. Do you understand? Can you play 4 notes only like that and feel that? Go. Don't do this. You will kill your shoulder. Open your back. Put the violin out here and like ballet dancer. Go. Cool boots. Yes, that was good. No. is hard. But years ago I had a fight with one college professor, music professor. I complained that his daughter has issues with that technique, and he says, well, I have a bunch of 24-year-olds in my school that have problems. And since then, I made myself a promise that none of my students will ever have the problems like that, because if college students have problems with basic rhythm, then the professors need to go do something else. So learn it. Okay?
Okay.
Sean will help you with that, no problem. Let's see shifts. And I need to print you shift check. And then I need to start with this immediately. Alright. Anytime. The Russian shift, which makes me very happy, but it's not right. It's supposed to be a proper shifting here. Let me show you. I also really like that you're trying to vibrate, but that's also not necessary for this exercise. Look. Do you see I'm not doing right? Light shift. Now see, I'm holding both of these fingers. I am not doing extra work. Leave it to the pianists. Try again. Clumsy but correct now. Keep practicing it. Alright? Before I leave for the Honolulu Festival, you should be done with this. Okay? No pressure, but it would be very nice if you can't master this before. I'm sure Sean will make sure that you master it. Now, let me print this thing for you. Connect. All right. Perfect. And we need one page. Now, do you or do you not remember when we were talking about passive and active finger movement?
Yeah.
No? Okay, hold the bow in the middle, please, for me. No, I'm not on the violin, yeah. Remember in the very beginning, I was put the violin back, so the bow is straight. I was holding here and you were moving the wrist, remember? Watch the thumb, bend, straighten, right? So you don't do anything with your fingers. Please stop doing anything with your fingers, nothing. Fingers are just relaxed. You only move your wrist. Right, our thumb is frozen again. There, feel this. See the thumb movement? Right? And fingers react to this in a passive way. And collet makes the active finger movement. Hold the violin up. Now I want you to do it this way and that way. Go. Good, but every time you go up, thumb bends. Thumb has to bend when you go up. Bend. And then when you go down, it straightens. No. Actively. Down, up. Bend the thumb. Straighten the thumb. and relax. Bend. Straighten. Bend. Right. This is incredibly overdone what she does with the fingers, but eventually it will settle.
But
This
when
is
she goes down, it looked like a banana. Don't do that.
See, the thing is that they have to understand that when they are passive, it's exactly opposite. Down bow with a bent thumb. But when the fingers are active, they bow moves in exactly opposite direction with the same exactly action. Do you understand me?
Yeah.
Let me show you. I'll stand over you and you watch the thumb. See? This is passive. I go down, up, down, up, down, up. And now I will do the active. Down, up, down, up. Do you see the action here is exactly opposite? Understood? It's truly like riding a bicycle. It's very hard to explain and very hard to understand. But once they catch that is exactly opposite action for the same movement of the bow, then they ride fast. Now, this is what, why is it not printing for me? I am so upset right now. Hang on.
Is your printer on?
Yes, it's supposed to. Printer is not responding. Why are you not responding, printer? Let's try again. With that new network of mine, there's so many bugs. That's a correct printer. Let me try a different network here. Come on, connect. Connect. Connected. Let's see if that will make that printer listen to me. So, this first Shevchik exercise is very difficult, but it is incredibly important. And for what you do right now, it's critical now. Usually, when I work with students, come on. It's a weak. Hold the violin up and go to the floor. I will drive, you just try to understand. We are going passive, 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 and we stop right there and we create it. Did I ask you to do that?
No.
Don't. Okay? Alright. I appreciate that you're trying, I really do. But now I have to erase this from your memory and go back. So we go and watch where I'm touching your thumb. When we go passive, the thumb bends. One passive, two passive. Don't raise the shoulder. Oh God, how many times did I say that? Passive, passive, passive. And halfway through, we stop the arm from moving, relax that shoulder. And we finish with this. Do you understand? Does she have a slingshot?
No.
Have you ever fired an arrow from the bow?
No.
No, but you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, move here a little bit and we will show you Ma. So this is my bow and arrow. I'm holding my bow, I'm pulling my arrow, creating elastic energy. Don't overbend the thumb. When I will let go, you will fire. Fire. Perfect.
Okay.
Right? So this truly is a very important minor detail. Now let's show this 3 notes again. Hold the violin up, and this is what we do. Slowly we go passive, 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 stop part way, finish right here. And then we go active, land, active, and land, and active. And every time you go active, don't overbend this. Your thumb will have to bend as you lift. I will leave you for now for a second. Get the